Hi Draguns, what's up? It's Nikita. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a story time video for you guys. I honestly don't do story times too often. I think on my channel I've done all of like 2. I just personally don't see a need in documenting every single story that happens in my life, but when one arrives that is of this magnitude and is so crazy for me, like I just feel this need to share it. And I've just always felt that my channel in particular has been somewhat of a diary to me. I mean, obviously I have put my journey out there for everyone to see, and in some ways I consider it like somewhat therapeutic, just leaving everything in the video. And that's what I want to do today, because this story time in particular does revolve around a prince from Dubai. This situation happened in late June. I was somewhat of a club rat. I had just gotten my FFS and I was just running around town. I was being absolutely wild. My friends at the time were nowhere near like beauty influencers or social media people. They were just regular people who loved to go out. But going out to the clubs or to the bars almost became routine to me, and it kind of was pretty bad for me to go out like 3 or 4 times a week. One of the nights I went out with my going out friends, I ended up running into this guy. Now, mind you, the club that we were at is in the gay area of town, but it right now is considered like super straight in a way. Since I had been going out so much at this time, I was pretty much used to like everything. Not only the straight guys, but also these people that in the T-girl community we call tranny chasers. Now, these are people who like fetishize, I don't know if that's a word, but have a fetish for T-girls and primarily are just like on the hunt for them. It's like the same as if someone wants an Asian girl, or they want a girl who's really tall and skinny, or they want a thicker girl or something. Like, it's a guy who has a certain preference to trans girls like me. Now, these people, I'm just gonna keep it really real. Like, I just don't mess with them because like I never want to be viewed as a fetish. Like, I don't think anyone in their right mind does. And if you do, more power to you. But like me personally, I just would never want to be a man's like fetish. Like, to me that sounds so gross. So one of these nights while I was just routinely going out with this group of friends, this guy approaches me, and it was really, really early in the night. I know it sounds so weird to say that I always have like a game plan of going out to the club, but I'm trying to explain to you guys, like I literally had like the club and going out to like a down set schedule. Like, we would get there like at 12, we would go walk in, walk around, pussy stun, we'd get drinks, we would say hi to the people at the table. Like, normally you start hunting for guys during like the end phase of the game. You know, if you do get approached by a guy during the beginning phase, I guess, of like going out, you kind of like put them on back order. You're like, okay, this guy's really cute, he's really great, but I also want to see what else is out there. You know what I mean? Like, we were talking, he introduced himself. I guess I'll call him, I don't know, like Tony or something. I just let him know that I was here with my friends and that I wasn't trying to settle down, if you will. Like, honey, it was early in the game. Like, mama gotta hunt. I set him down gently, and I always, I guess I kept the tab open, if you will, with this guy. I was very mysterious, and I love playing hard to get. You know, you can't just give yourself to a guy all of a sudden. Like, what is he gonna think? Honestly, no, ma'am. We don't do that here. So the night progresses, and I actually ended up going back to this guy. I really liked his general vibe. He was super sweet to me, and obviously super attractive, and I thought he was really cool. So I walked over to him and kind of separated him from his friends, and we were kind of just like in the middle halfway point by the bar between our 2 friends who were at 2 different tables. And honestly, we just hit it off. Like, he was so cool and had like a different way of thinking. He did have a slight accent, and I was just so intrigued by him. I just never want to be put in that situation where, you know, they don't know my past, and you know, it does become some huge conflict. And I just have grown out of that phase of just trying to trick guys. I did let him know like pretty early on. I mean, I kind of was just like, what are you into? I mean, this was me after a couple shots. My friends were right behind me. I knew I was really safe. We're in a gay club. So yes, bitch, I did that. I secured the bag. You're living the fantasy. You're with him, your arm's in his arm, and obviously your friends can see you, and they're just like, yes, bitch. The whole time I was introducing him to my friends, he was introducing me to his friends. I mean, we were together pretty much the entire night and like merged our friend groups together. Listen, you always have to ask your homegirl, hey, is this guy cute? Had a magical night together, and it didn't just include the club. We actually had gone out to get food. Of course, like all fairy tales, it came to an abrupt ending, if you will, because he did tell me that he was leaving the next day back to his school in London. I definitely felt like Cinderella having the clock strike 12 midnight and turning back into, you know, poor old little me, and the prince going away. Well, I guess the clock didn't really strike midnight. It was more like 5 a.m. Did I lay it down? The quick answer is no, I did not lay it down. I did give him a kiss and I left off with my friends. I didn't want to exchange WhatsApp or whatever. Like, I don't do that. I'm like not about it. I was like, you know what? Here's my Instagram. If you want to like DM me, we can talk through DM. He messaged me the next day after being like, hey, it was so nice meeting you. Like, I would love to connect on Facebook. Like, what is your thing? Like, how can we talk more? And obviously I don't have any of the other stuff. So it was pretty much just through Instagram. Me and Tony pretty much fell off from talking with each other. I mean, we would talk to each other every now and again. At some point, I just always expected him to message me in a certain time frame. Like, I just always knew I was gonna get a message from him like 3 weeks into the month, or, you know, like just at a certain time. It always seemed like he was messaging me being like, hey, I miss you. Like, what are you up to? And we would just kind of catch each other up, and that was pretty much it. And I guess it kind of naturally came to the point of like, hey, when do you think you'll ever come back to London or come to London? And I would ask him, when do you think you're coming back to LA? And we were trying to meet each other, you know, but he was especially persistent on me coming to London because he goes to school there. I obviously am not just gonna pack up my stuff and just go to London by myself. Like, and I would let him know, like, hey, like, I'm not going by myself. Like, maybe by some instance, one of my friends goes, like, I would love to meet you out for coffee or something. I became so accustomed to just be like annoyed by him asking me constantly, like, when am I seeing you? When am I seeing you? And like, I just kind of was put off by him at this point. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm annoyed with you. Like, I'm doing things in my life, and like, we had a great night, yes, and maybe if things were different, like, it would totally work out, but I can't see myself just investing this much time in you. And like, obviously I'm not coming to London anytime soon. So Tony and I really just fell off at some point. It just came to a halting stop, and it wasn't the 3 weeks anymore. Like, I just wasn't hearing from him, and I didn't really feel a need to talk to him. So pretty much everything got a little crazy one day for me in my world business class. Now, in this class, I had done research on many different countries of business, and one of the countries that I was assigned for my end of the year project was the UAE. I actually have mentioned this one other time in a makeup tutorial of mine. I think I was talking about how I was really off in studying the UAE. While I was doing my research, I stumbled across this photo. In the background was Tony, of all people, and I was like, okay, this is maybe just really coincidental. I haven't talked to him in a really long time, and I was like, well, you know what, let me just take a picture of this, and I sent it to him. Oh my god, look who I spy, ha ha ha, like nothing too serious. And he responded back a little bit later, where did you find this photo? And just kind of being like, hey, I miss you, we haven't talked in a while. And I feel like this was just a perfect way for us to start talking again. So of course, as always, Tony wanted me to come see him. He's like, okay, now you need to come to Dubai. Like, I need to see you, I can't wait any longer. Like, we haven't talked, like, come to Dubai. I just think going from possibly visiting London to all of a sudden him wanting me to visit Dubai is a big jump. I have yet to do like a really big trip, let alone by myself. So like, it's just not happening, Tony. You're being annoying again. Like, I will stop talking to you if you keep asking me to come to these random places. In the back of my mind, of course, I'm thinking this guy is gonna be really sketch or whatever, like having me come to like a random foreign place. Like, come on, girl. As I started to talk to him more in the DMs, and I'm not the girl that's always checking my DMs. I'm not always just scrolling through whatever, but I do on occasion check them, of course. I mean, who doesn't? I was just scrolling through my DM casually one night while I was talking to him, and I look and I was like, this guy looks like familiar. So I click on this fucking DM, and I'm looking through his page, and I'm like, oh, he just looks so familiar. I'm scrolling, and it took me like one full scroll, probably and a half, to figure out that he is friends with Tony. And I'm like, oh my god, they're like friends. But it was just so weird that he was DMing me, obviously like trying to hit me up, being like, oh, you're so beautiful, da da da, like some fire emojis, some hearts. Like, obviously he was trying to get it, and I just felt really uncomfortable. Like, what should we call this guy? Should we call him like Taylor? So Taylor was messaging me as well, and I let Tony know that, hey, I don't know who this is, it's your friend or whatever, but he's messaging me. I have his DM right here, but he starts off with, I am from Dubai, I am Prince. I want to give you invite to Dubai, dot dot dot. Do you want to come? And I let him know, I know your friend Tony. He says, I am his brother. And I was like, oh my god, no way. Yes, you know him, question mark. And I literally just responded back, older or younger, LOL. I asked this question because I'm like, okay, well, if he's the older brother, this is kind of creepy, because like, why is he messaging me? This is like weird. And like, younger brother, I was just a little bit more lenient on, because it's like, okay, well, maybe he's messaging me because he knew I was talking to Tony, and like, he just wants to be funny. I guess I was just trying to logically plan this out of like, what is happening? Because I'm like, I don't want to believe this mother effer is messaging me because he also wants to get at me. Like, that is just so effing weird. I was just trying to see the brighter side. As soon as he says, I'm from Dubai, I am a Prince, and it just like is all linking up. Like, I'm seeing a list like go down. So I'm like, well, if you're a prince, does that mean Tony's a prince? All this time I had been talking to Tony, and I didn't really, not that I didn't ask all these questions, but he just never mentioned that, oh, I'm casually a prince. Wait, so like, if I'm talking to a prince, does that make me like a princess? I guess I was just so confused because I'm like, okay, now Taylor just revealed to me that he's a prince, which means Tony is also a prince. And I just questioned him like, wait, you're a prince? Like, for real, you're lying, ha ha ha, LOL. Like, it was just a joke to me. And he's like, oh, well, Tony didn't tell you. Like, why wouldn't he tell you? This conversation between him and I continues because I'm like, well, I just got tea on Tony, so let me see what else I can kind of get out of this little brother. I was already out with my friends having a good time drinking and whatever, so I might have been slightly under the influence while I was talking to him back, but I honestly was just trying to get to the bottom of things, and like I was letting my friends and filling my friends in on what has been happening. I was like, you guys, okay, so I have been talking to this guy like and now he's a prince and I'm talking to his brother. So I'm not gonna lie, I definitely seized the moment. I was like talking to my best friend, I was letting them know what was happening, and they were just encouraging me to mess with this little brother. So I was like, okay, so I can help you and book you everything. Yeah, okay, so you are invited already. And I go, but I would have to come with a friend. I can't go by myself. I was with my friend at the time. They're like, oh, well, tell them you have to go with your friend and we'll just ditch him and let's just go. And I'm just like, oh my God, yeah, let's but I have to have a first class ride on the Emirates, which is like $1 bajillion, by the way, to do so. And I said LOL, and he's like, haha, okay, 500K for you, is it enough? I mean, to me, honestly, it was such a joke. I'm like, doesn't this sound like one of those newsletters that you get, like someone calling you, be like, hi, surprise, you won $500,000 from a random prince in Dubai. I'm like, okay, how far is this guy literally gonna go with this joke? He says, every day you stay, get 50K, is that okay? But you need to do a good work. Oh my God, wait, this guy is being so serious right now. Maybe, yes, maybe he was lying and not actually offering me $500,000 or whatever, but at the same time, he was offering me money to go fly there and to lay it down. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, he was literally gonna sneak me in to the country, the whole nine. He had this whole tactile plan. I'm now at this point blowing up Tony, being like, oh my God. So Tony ends up responding, and after all of that, just kind of laughs it off and wasn't really taking it seriously. And he's like, oh, well, I guess you met my brother, and ha ha ha, yeah, I'm a prince. Like, just blowing everything completely off. And I'm like, what the F is going on? I cannot believe so much has been thrown at me. Like, I don't know what to believe. Like, I don't know what is happening, honestly. And he was like, so you wouldn't do it? And I'm like, do what? Like, go to Dubai? And he's like, no, like, you wouldn't be paid to come to Dubai. So now Tony proceeds to tell me that I will pay you $500,000 and I can pay you just as much as my brother, but when you come here to Dubai, you're all mine unless he pays his own separate way too. All right, log out, you're canceled, block number, not having it, delete conversation. I cannot explain how hurt I was when I just kind of put all the pieces together. It was so obvious and in front of my face. I personally, as a female, chose not to live that life. Like, I would never want that life for myself. I decided that a long time ago. How can you put a price label on me? Like, how does that make you feel like a human when someone literally is like, I will give you money so that you can come and be my fetish and, you know, have sex with me and this, that, and the other. But at the same time, I just felt so degraded as a woman. I'm like, how the F is this guy gonna come into my life, be in my life for a minute? Granted, he wasn't physically in my life, but we talked a lot, enough for me to feel the pain of him trying to treat me that way. I didn't even give him a response, anything, just a block, a cancel, block number, delete, cancel, like him, his brother. Like, here in my mind, I'm thinking that I have found a Prince Charming and all of a sudden he's a prince. Like, this is the perfect fantasy and the perfect story, but little do I know, of course, every story has a twist and has a dark side, and everything is not all sunshine and rainbow, sweetie. I guess on a lighter note, from Queen Bey herself, the rock I'm rocking, I bought it, honey. And that's that. All right, dragons, that's all I have for you today in terms of the story time. It is a closed chapter in my life, and comment down below what you would have done if you would have accepted the money. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as well as give this video a big thumbs up, and obviously follow me on all my social media accounts at Nikita_Dragun, at MamaDragun on Snapchat. On a serious note, just know when something is given to you, just be mindful of what you have to give back, and please just stay safe out there. Anyways, thank you guys again so much for watching, and don't forget, breathe fire, my dragons.
me.